Good evening, everybody. Now, before we get started, let me tell you something. This right here, this ain't one of those fancy, overcomplicated lectures with big words and a PowerPoint. No, sir. We're about to keep it real and talk about something that will change your life. See, communication is everything. Everything. You can have all the talent in the world, but if you can't talk to people, if you can't connect, you ain't going nowhere. And some of y'all out here wondering why you ain't making moves in life. It's not because you ain't got what it takes. It's because you don't know how to say it right. So let's break it down. 1, be clear. Say what you mean. Now I know some folks like to talk in circles, beat around the bush. Stop it. If you want something, say it with your chest. Ain't nobody out here trying to decode what you really mean. If you need help, ask. If you disagree, speak up. If you love somebody, tell them. Life is too short for people to be out here guessing what's on your mind. 2, listen. Like, really listen. See, a lot of people think communication is just talking, but the real pros, they know it's about listening. And I don't mean just standing there waiting for your turn to talk. I mean, really hearing people out. When someone speaks, listen to understand, not just to reply. You'd be surprised how much smoother life gets when people feel heard. 3, watch your tone. It ain't what you say, it's how you say it. Ooh, let me tell you something. Tone is a game changer. You ever seen someone say, I'm fine, but their face is screaming, I'm mad as hell? Exactly. The way you say something is just as important as what you say. You could be dropping the truth, but if you come off rude, disrespectful, or too aggressive, people will shut down. Learn how to deliver your message the right way. 4, confidence, not arrogance. Listen, if you don't believe in what you're saying, why should anybody else? Speak with confidence. Stand tall. Look people in the eye. But don't mix up confidence with arrogance, because nobody likes a know-it-all. The key, be bold but be humble. 5, read the room. Let me tell you, if you ain't got this one down, you are struggling. Some of y'all telling jokes at funerals. Some of y'all cracking business deals at the family cookout. Listen, timing is everything. Know when to speak, when to listen, and when to just shut up and nod. 6, body language speaks louder than words. You can say all the right things, but if your arms are crossed, your face is blank, and your energy is off, nobody is believing you. Your body talks just as much as your mouth does. So when you're in a conversation, lean in, nod, smile, show people you're engaged. 7, keep it real, but keep it respectful. Now let's be clear. Being honest does not mean being rude. Some of y'all think I just tell it like it is an excuse to be disrespectful. No. Telling the truth is important, but how you tell it matters. You can be direct without tearing people down. Final thoughts. At the end of the day, effective communication ain't about being the loudest in the room or using the biggest words. It's about connection. It's about knowing how to talk, how to listen, and how to understand people. You do that, you win in your job, in your relationships, in life. Period. Now go out there and talk like you got a purpose. Communication is the foundation of every interaction in life, whether in personal relationships, professional settings, or everyday encounters. Being clear and direct is not just about speaking. It's about ensuring that the message is delivered in a way that leaves no room for confusion. Clarity in communication saves time, prevents misunderstanding, and builds trust between individuals. Many people struggle with getting their point across because they either overcomplicate their words, hesitate due to fear of judgment, or assume the listener will automatically understand their intent. But effective communication requires being straightforward, ensuring that the listener receives exactly what was meant without needing to decode underlying messages. One of the biggest mistakes people make is assuming that their audience understands their thoughts automatically. However, clarity requires effort. It's not about using complex vocabulary or long-winded explanations. It's about structuring words in a way that makes the message easy to grasp. Simple language often works better than trying to sound overly intelligent or sophisticated. People appreciate directness because it saves them the trouble of trying to interpret hidden meanings. Whether making a request, offering an opinion, or giving instructions, the key is to remove any ambiguity that could lead to misinterpretation. Another critical aspect of being clear and direct is knowing exactly what needs to be said before speaking. Many people talk in circles, adding unnecessary details that dilute the main message. This not only confuses the listener, but also makes it difficult to retain important points. A well-structured thought process before speaking can make a massive difference in how effectively a message is received. Before engaging in conversation, it helps to take a moment to identify the key idea and determine the best way to articulate it concisely. People often struggle with directness because they fear coming across as rude or confrontational. While being direct does not mean being harsh, it does require assertiveness. There is a fine line between being clear and being aggressive, and the difference lies in tone and approach. A direct message delivered with a calm, respectful tone is far more effective than one wrapped in unnecessary politeness or excessive explanations. Sometimes people over-apologize or soften their words so much that the original point becomes lost. This habit can make a person seem uncertain or unconfident, which weakens their ability to communicate effectively. Confidence plays a significant role in direct communication. If a message is delivered hesitantly or with self-doubt, the listener may not take it seriously. Speaking with certainty, maintaining eye contact, and using firm but polite language can make a world of difference. People naturally gravitate towards those who communicate with confidence because it signals credibility and reliability. When someone speaks clearly and directly, others are more likely to listen, engage, and respond positively. Another important element of clear communication is knowing when to stop talking. Some individuals believe that adding more words makes a point stronger, when in reality, it often dilutes the message. Over-explaining or repeating the same point in different ways can confuse the listener and make the conversation drag unnecessarily. Effective communicators understand the power of brevity and precision. They know how to state their point, pause for response, and allow room for clarification if needed. Listening also plays a huge role in clear and direct communication. Many people assume communication is only about speaking, but real clarity comes from understanding the other person's perspective as well. Before responding, it's crucial to ensure that the other person has been fully heard and understood. Sometimes clarity issues arise not because of how something was said, but because the speaker was not aware of the listener's perspective. Asking questions, seeking confirmation, and paying attention to body language can help ensure that the message is being received as intended. People from different backgrounds, cultures, and experiences interpret words differently. What seems clear to one person may not be clear to another. This is why checking for understanding is essential. Instead of assuming that the listener fully comprehends what was said, it helps to encourage feedback or ask if any part of the message needs clarification. This simple habit can prevent a great deal of miscommunication and frustration. Another challenge in being clear and direct is overcoming emotional barriers. Sometimes fear, anxiety, or uncertainty can cause people to hold back from expressing themselves fully. They may dance around the topic or use vague language because they are afraid of how the message will be received. However, effective communication requires pushing past these emotions and focusing on the goal of the conversation. Whether it's addressing a problem, giving feedback, or making a request, clarity ensures that nothing is left to assumption. One of the best ways to improve clarity is to practice articulating thoughts before speaking. This doesn't mean memorizing lines or rehearsing conversations, but rather forming a habit of structuring ideas in a logical manner. Some people find it helpful to write things down before saying them aloud, especially in high-pressure situations where words matter. This exercise trains the brain to organize information efficiently, making it easier to deliver messages with confidence. A major advantage of clear and direct communication is that it saves time. In professional settings, for example, employees who communicate efficiently are often seen as more competent and reliable. Clear instructions prevent errors, reduce the need for constant follow-ups, and increase productivity. In personal relationships, direct communication eliminates unnecessary tension and confusion, making interactions smoother and more enjoyable. Another key factor in being direct is eliminating filler words and phrases. Words like you know, I think, and sort of weaken the message and make the speaker seem uncertain. While it's natural to use these words occasionally, reducing them strengthens the clarity of communication. A confident speaker gets to the point without unnecessary hesitation, making it easier for the listener to engage with and absorb the message. Some people mistakenly believe that being direct means being blunt or tactless. However, it's entirely possible to be clear and considerate at the same time. The key is to focus on delivering the message in a way that respects the other person while still being honest. Choosing the right words, using a neutral tone, and maintaining a positive attitude can make a direct message much more palatable. Another important element of clarity is understanding the audience. The way a message is delivered should be adapted based on who is receiving it. Speaking to a child requires a different level of simplicity than speaking to a business executive. Tailoring language, tone, and examples to fit the listener's level of understanding ensures that the message is received as intended. Technology has made communication faster, but not necessarily clearer. Text messages, emails, and social media posts often leave room for misinterpretation because they lack vocal tone and body language. In these cases, clarity becomes even more critical. Being specific in writing, avoiding vague language, and reading messages before sending them can prevent unnecessary confusion. A great way to test clarity in communication is by asking someone to repeat back what they understood. If their response matches what was intended, the message was clear. If not, it means adjustments are needed. This simple technique can be especially useful in situations where precise information is crucial, such as giving directions, providing instructions, or discussing important decisions. Clarity in communication also enhances leadership skills. Leaders who communicate effectively inspire confidence in their team, reduce misunderstandings, and create a more productive work environment. Whether in business, education, or community settings, people are more likely to follow someone who speaks with clarity and purpose. Being direct also helps in conflict resolution. Many disagreements arise because one or both parties fail to communicate their thoughts and feelings clearly. When people dance around the issue instead of addressing it head-on, resentment builds. On the other hand, when issues are discussed openly and directly, resolutions can be reached faster and with less frustration. The ability to communicate clearly and directly is a skill that improves over time with practice. It requires self-awarenesses, a willingness to adjust, and a commitment to ensuring that messages are delivered in the most effective way possible. Those who master this skill gain an edge in every aspect of life, from career advancement to personal relationships. Listening is one of the most underrated yet powerful skills in communication. Many people believe that communication is all about speaking, choosing the right words, delivering them with confidence, and making a strong impression. However, the truth is that effective communication is just as much about listening as it is about talking. People often listen to respond rather than to understand, which leads to miscommunication, misunderstandings, and frustration. Truly understanding someone requires patience, attentiveness, and a willingness to absorb what is being said without immediately jumping to conclusions or formulating a response in one's mind while the other person is still speaking. One of the key aspects of listening is being fully present in the moment. In today's world, distractions are everywhere. Phones buzzing with notifications, people multitasking, and minds wandering to different thoughts even while a conversation is happening. When someone is speaking, it is essential to give them undivided attention. This means putting away distractions, maintaining eye contact, and showing through body language that their words are being heard. People can sense when someone is not truly listening. A distracted listener sends a message that they do not value the speaker's words, which can damage relationships and hinder effective communication. Being fully present also means avoiding interruptions, as cutting someone off mid-sentence not only disrupts their train of thought, but also signals impatience and a lack of respect for what they are saying. Another crucial element of effective listening is understanding the difference between hearing and listening. Hearing is passive. It is simply perceiving sound. Listening, on the other hand, is active and requires effort. It involves processing information, making connections, and interpreting the message beyond just the words being spoken. People sometimes assume they are listening, when in reality, they are just waiting for their turn to speak. This can be seen in conversations where someone nods absent-mindedly or responds with generic phrases without fully grasping what was said. Active listening means focusing on the speaker's words, their tone, and their emotions to gain a complete understanding of their message. Empathy plays a major role in listening. To truly understand someone, it is important to put oneself in their shoes and consider their perspective. Everyone comes from different backgrounds, experiences, and viewpoints, which shape the way they communicate. An effective listener does not just process words, but also tries to grasp the emotions and intentions behind them. This requires setting aside personal biases and judgments. Too often, people listen through a filter of their own opinions, assuming they already know what the other person is going to say. This leads to misunderstandings because assumptions replace genuine understanding. Instead, approaching conversations with an open mind allows for deeper connections and better communication. Asking thoughtful questions is a powerful tool in active listening. Many people think that listening is just about being silent while the other person speaks, but true engagement involves asking relevant questions that show genuine interest. When someone shares a story or an opinion, following up with questions that encourage them to elaborate can make them feel valued and understood. Open-ended questions that begin with how or why invite deeper conversation and demonstrate that the listener is genuinely invested in understanding their point of view. Simple affirmations like, "That makes sense," or "I see what you mean," can also help reassure the speaker that they are being heard. Nonverbal communication is just as important as verbal responses when it comes to listening. Body language, facial expressions, and gestures all convey attentiveness and engagement. Leaning slightly forward, maintaining eye contact, nodding in agreement, and mirroring the speaker's expression subtly can all reinforce the message that they are being listened to. On the other hand, crossed arms, looking at a phone, or appearing impatient can send a message that the listener is disinterested. Small nonverbal cues make a significant difference in making the speaker feel comfortable and valued in the conversation. Reflective listening is another technique that enhances understanding. This involves paraphrasing or summarizing what the speaker has said to confirm comprehension. For example, if someone shares a concern about their job, responding with, "So, it sounds like you're feeling frustrated because you're not getting the recognition you deserve," not only reassures them that their message has been understood, but also gives them the opportunity to clarify any misinterpretations. This simple practice prevents misunderstandings and ensures that both parties are on the same page. One of the biggest obstacles to effective listening is the urge to react emotionally. When people hear something they disagree with or find offensive, their immediate instinct is often to interrupt, argue, or defend themselves. This reactive listening shuts down meaningful conversation and creates conflict. Instead, taking a step back and focusing on truly understanding the speaker's point of view, even if it differs from one's own, creates an environment where both sides can communicate more openly. Responding thoughtfully rather than impulsively fosters mutual respect and encourages productive discussions instead of heated arguments. Silence is a powerful aspect of listening that is often overlooked. Many people are uncomfortable with pauses in conversation and feel the need to fill every moment with words. However, allowing silence gives both the speaker and the listener time to process thoughts. Pausing before responding ensures that replies are thoughtful rather than rushed. Sometimes, a speaker may need a moment to collect their thoughts, and a skilled listener understands that silence can be just as meaningful as words. In deep conversations, silence can provide space for reflection, which often leads to more meaningful and insightful dialogue. Cultural differences also play a significant role in listening. Different cultures have varying communication styles, and understanding these differences can prevent misunderstandings. Some cultures emphasize directness, while others value subtlety and indirect communication. In some cases, silence is a sign of respect and contemplation, while in others it may be interpreted as disengagement. Being aware of these cultural nuances helps in adapting listening styles to better connect with people from diverse backgrounds. Patience is another essential quality of a good listener. Some people take longer to express their thoughts, and rushing them can lead to incomplete communication. Interrupting or finishing someone's sentences can be frustrating for the speaker and make them feel like their words are not valued. Allowing people the time they need to articulate their thoughts without pressure fosters an environment of trust and openness. Even when a conversation is lengthy, practicing patience shows that the listener truly values what is being said. One of the most common listening mistakes is forming a response before the speaker has finished talking. When people focus on what they are going to say next, they miss crucial parts of the message. This is especially common in debates or disagreements where individuals prioritize preparing counter-arguments rather than fully understanding the other side. To truly listen, it is important to let go of the need to immediately respond and instead focus entirely on absorbing the message being conveyed. Once the speaker has finished, taking a brief moment to process their words before replying ensures a more thoughtful and relevant response. Another aspect of listening that is often overlooked is the ability to read between the lines. Not everything people say is explicitly stated. Tone of voice, hesitation, choice of words, and emotional undertones all provide deeper insight into what someone is truly feeling. A person may say they are fine, but their voice may reveal sadness or frustration. Effective listeners pick up on these subtle cues and respond accordingly, offering support or asking further questions when necessary. Understanding what is not being said is just as important as processing what is spoken aloud. In professional environments, good listening skills are crucial for teamwork, leadership, and problem solving. Leaders who listen to their employees build stronger relationships and create a culture of trust. Employees who listen attentively to their colleagues avoid unnecessary conflicts and collaborate more effectively. Customers who feel heard are more likely to stay loyal to a business. In negotiations, listening carefully to the other party's needs and concerns provides a strategic advantage, as it allows for solutions that satisfy both sides. In every professional setting, listening is a key component of success. People naturally want to feel valued and understood, and one of the best ways to achieve this is through active listening. Many conflicts in relationships, whether personal or professional, arise because one or both parties feel unheard. When people feel like their thoughts and emotions are truly acknowledged, they are more likely to engage in meaningful, honest, and productive conversations. The ability to listen deeply and with genuine interest strengthens connections, fosters mutual respect, and creates an atmosphere where open communication can thrive. Tone and body language are two of the most powerful aspects of communication, often carrying more weight than the words themselves. People remember how something was said more than the exact words used. The way a message is delivered can change its meaning entirely, making it crucial to be mindful of tone and body language in every interaction. Many misunderstandings arise not because of what was said, but because of how it was said. A slight change in tone can make a statement sound friendly or aggressive, sincere or sarcastic, confident or doubtful. Similarly, body language can either reinforce a message or contradict it, affecting how it is perceived. Tone is more than just volume. It includes pitch, pace, and inflection. A monotone voice can make even the most exciting message sound dull and uninterested, while a varied tone keeps the listener engaged. Speaking too fast can make someone seem nervous or rushed, while speaking too slowly can come across as uncertain or unprepared. A well-paced delivery conveys confidence and allows the listener to absorb the message properly. The inflection in one's voice, where emphasis is placed on certain words, can completely change the interpretation of a sentence. Saying, "I didn't say she took the money," with different emphasis on each word, can imply multiple different meanings. This is why mastering tone is essential in ensuring that messages are received as intended. Volume also plays a key role in communication. Speaking too softly can make someone seem timid or unsure, while speaking too loudly can come across as aggressive or overbearing. Adjusting volume based on the context is important. A firm, steady voice is often perceived as confident and authoritative, whereas a hesitant, shaky voice can undermine credibility. People naturally respond better to those who sound sure of what they are saying. A strong voice commands attention, while an uncertain voice invites doubt. Knowing when to raise or lower volume based on the situation can make a conversation more dynamic and engaging. Emotional tone is another crucial aspect. People pick up on underlying emotions through the way words are spoken. A message delivered with warmth and enthusiasm can create a positive connection, while the same message spoken with frustration or indifference can have the opposite effect. For example, saying, "I appreciate your help" with a genuine tone expresses gratitude, whereas saying it with a flat or sarcastic tone can make it seem insincere. Tone must match the intended emotion of the message to avoid sending mixed signals. If someone is delivering bad news, a calm and empathetic tone is necessary. If they are giving encouragement, a positive and uplifting tone works best. Being aware of how emotions influence tone helps in crafting messages that are both clear and effective. Body language is just as important as tone. Even without speaking, people communicate volumes through their posture, gestures, and facial expressions. A slouched posture can indicate a lack of confidence or interest, while standing tall with an open stance conveys authority and engagement. Crossed arms may signal defensiveness, while open arms suggest approachability. Leaning slightly forward shows attentiveness, while leaning away can indicate disinterest or discomfort. Maintaining good posture not only helps in projecting confidence, but also makes others more receptive to what is being said. Facial expressions are a powerful aspect of body language. A smile can make someone appear friendly and approachable, while a frown or furrowed brows can create a sense of tension. Eye contact is especially important in establishing trust and connection, Avoiding eye contact may make someone seem untrustworthy or uninterested, whereas maintaining appropriate eye contact shows confidence and engagement. However, too much direct eye contact can be perceived as intimidating, so it is important to strike a balance. A natural, relaxed gaze creates a sense of ease in conversation. Hand gestures can enhance communication when used appropriately. Subtle hand movements can emphasize key points and make speech more dynamic. However, excessive or erratic hand gestures can be distracting and take away from the message. Placing hands in pockets or keeping them hidden can make someone appear closed off or nervous, while using open and controlled gestures conveys confidence. Pointing aggressively or using abrupt movements can make a speaker seem confrontational, while gentle, intentional gestures help create a more engaging and persuasive message. Mirroring is another effective use of body language. People naturally feel more comfortable with those who reflect their gestures. Subtle mirroring, such as matching someone's pace of speech or posture, can create a sense of connection and rapport. However, it should be done naturally, as forced mirroring can come across as insincere or manipulative. When done correctly, mirroring builds trust and makes communication more effective. Micro expressions, which are brief facial expressions that reveal true emotions, play a significant role in communication. These split-second expressions can contradict spoken words, revealing what someone is really feeling. For example, someone may say they are fine, but a quick flash of sadness or frustration on their face might indicate otherwise. Being able to read microexpressions helps in understanding the emotions behind words, allowing for more empathetic and effective responses. Cultural differences also affect body language and tone. In some cultures, maintaining direct eye contact is a sign of confidence, while in others it can be considered disrespectful. Similarly, certain gestures that are positive in one culture may be offensive in another. Understanding these differences is crucial, especially in diverse settings. Being aware of cultural nuances in tone and body language ensures respectful and effective communication across different backgrounds. Matching body language and tone with the message being delivered is essential. A serious topic should not be delivered with a casual or joking tone, as it can come across as dismissive. Likewise, a lighthearted message should not be conveyed with stiff, closed-off body language. Alignment between tone, facial expressions, and gestures makes a message more authentic and credible. Listening with body language is just as important as speaking with it. Nodding occasionally, tilting the head slightly, and using facial expressions that match the conversation show that someone is actively engaged. People can tell when a listener is distracted or uninterested based on their body language. Looking at a phone, fidgeting, or constantly shifting attention signals disinterest, which can be discouraging to the speaker. On the other hand, leaning in slightly, maintaining eye contact, and responding with appropriate expressions encourage open and meaningful dialogue. Self-awareness is key in mastering tone and body language. Many people are unaware of how they come across because they do not pay attention to their own nonverbal cues. Practicing in front of a mirror, recording oneself, or asking for feedback can help identify areas for improvement. Noticing habits such as speaking too quickly, avoiding eye contact, or using closed-off gestures allows for conscious adjustments. Becoming mindful of these aspects leads to stronger, more effective communication. Confidence is closely tied to tone and body language. A person who speaks with a steady, controlled tone and maintains open body language exudes confidence, even if they are feeling uncertain. Conversely, a shaky voice, hesitant gestures, or avoiding eye contact can make someone appear unsure of themselves, regardless of the words they use. Even in high-pressure situations, maintaining composure through controlled tone and confident body language can leave a lasting impression. Adapting tone and body language to different situations is crucial. A formal business meeting requires a more controlled and professional tone, whereas a casual conversation with friends allows for a more relaxed body language. Being able to shift between different styles of communication based on context enhances effectiveness. A leader speaking to their team must use an authoritative yet approachable tone, while a teacher explaining a concept should use an engaging and clear tone. Recognizing the right tone and body language for each setting strengthens communication skills. The ability to read others' tone and body language is just as important as controlling one's own. People often reveal more through their nonverbal cues than through their words. Recognizing when someone is uncomfortable, interested, confused, or disengaged allows for better responses. If someone's body language suggests they are hesitant, offering reassurance or adjusting tone can make them feel more comfortable. Picking up on these cues helps navigate conversations more effectively. Every interaction leaves an impression, and tone and body language play a major role in shaping that impression. People remember how they felt during a conversation more than the specific words exchanged. A warm, confident, and engaging tone combined with open and positive body language creates an inviting atmosphere. Being intentional with nonverbal communication strengthens relationships, builds trust, and enhances the overall quality of interactions.